So the plan for the evening is, we know you've brought objects, or at least questions about objects, that you're eager to talk to the experts who are right at the back of the room. But we did want to spend a little time telling you about the Restoring Ideals project, which we're pretty excited about, and a little bit just about the theory of conservation. Rob, what was the idea of Restoring Ideals?
The idea behind Restoring Ideals began with our advisory council. So Temple Contemporary, which is on Temple University's main campus at the corner of 12th and Norris, runs their programming in response to questions that we don't know the answers to. And these questions are raised by an advisory council of roughly about 35 people that includes local high school students, as well as Temple students, and civic and cultural leaders across the city. And it was through this questioning process that the advisory council landed on this question of, what are we doing for the community-led organizations across the city who are still, in many ways, responding to these questions of tolerance, independence, equality, that are often considered the sort of the founding ideals of this city, and then by extension sometimes the country. And so with that began a growing question that slowly developed into what we now understand as Restoring Ideals. And what that means physically is that if you were to come to the gallery, which is open on Wednesdays through Saturdays from 11 to 6, you will see a conservator, most likely working in the gallery space, on any one of a number of 10 objects that have each been selected by the community-led organizations themselves as being the most emblematic object that they have in their collection. As you can imagine, a lot of community-led organizations, they don't have a vast pool of money to draw from to actually conserve their history. And so the point of this project is to really give them some support, the professional support they need, so that their history can be preserved for future generations. And it's with that sort of nugget of an idea that it began. And I think we really should be thanking the Barra Foundation for getting behind this project from the very outset, and funding this project so that we can extend this kind of conservation treatment to so many valuable organizations across the city.
Okay, we're here at WHYY, which, as I'm sure most of you know, is a PBS member station and one of the most popular shows on our air and any PBS station's air is the Antique Roadshow. This is not the Antique Roadshow. Ingrid, tell them why.
Well, conservators actually abide by a code of ethics, and we don't actually do appraisals of objects, so tonight we can't tell you whether your object has any monetary value. When we approach an object in terms of conservation, we are not concerned with how valuable an object is. I'm sure it runs through our brains when it's something very, very high profile. But whether we're working on the Family Bible or working on a copy of the Emancipation Proclamation, we bring the same skill set and the same mindset to every artifact.
Okay, so we're ready to let you have at it with your objects. We're very grateful to have the conservators here that we have.
Show me what you have. My great-great aunt was a lady who ran this school in Beverly, New Jersey, Rachel Hunt. And I have several of her little school books.
Oh wow, these are great. These are wonderful, and yeah, they definitely could use some conservation, particularly that one. So they all look like they date from mid to late 19th century?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1877, I think that's the date is. And somebody wrote in there 1871, but I don't know.
Okay, so that may or may not be accurate. I mean, this looks like probably good material to have it next to right now, but you can make sure that the paper you have it in contact with is not going to speed up its deterioration in any way or anything like that.
That is acid-free paper. So you said they put it in a box. Is the box sealed like the wedding gown boxes?
No, it's just acid-free, unbuffered box with tissue paper. Okay, it's just a lid, and where you store it is under your bed, and you're anywhere where you live. Do not put it in the attic. Don't put it in the basement.
Okay.
Anywhere you live, a textile can hold because it needs that same sort of constant, not too hot, not too cold, not too moist, not too dry environment. I would keep her out of the light.
She is in glass cabinet, but not in the sunlight.
But can you see her? Because if you can see her, there's light, and any light is damaging. So what I would suggest is to give her a vacation. Put her on display for 3 months. When you go away, put her in the dark. Come back, show her out. If you go away for a weekend, put her in the dark. Every time you think of it, put her in the dark, because the longer she is not exposed to light, the longer her life will be.
Well, I'm just wondering that if paint is starting to lift like that, the next step is for it to fall off. If you had it in a box, then you'd find the piece and you could stick it back on. But maybe the smart thing would be, to stick it down now rather than later.
Say your box is this long. You make this tube to fit the length of the box, and every time you fold your textile, you insert one of these. Okay, so I'm going to fold this. I would insert it, fold it over it, and then that prevents it from getting off the crease. And then when I wanted to do one here, I'm folding it again. I put another, and I fold it that way.
There's a spine lining that they applied just to keep the spine a little more stiff when you open the book, but I love that there's those moths in there. Because a lot of times binders would just use whatever kind of printed material they had lying around the bindery from other projects entirely. It has nothing to do with the book that it's on.
Right.
But that's the best example of something in there that I've ever seen.
That's pretty symmetrical,
cool.
right?
I know, it's a really cool kind of surprise.
So you could mend that.
We could mend that, and then you wouldn't see the moths anymore, which is kind of